Hey everybody, welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and I am your host, Xavia Fox. When you are an entrepreneur, initially you spend a lot of time personally doing things. Oh. So I spent time designing my own business card, and I printed them myself, and they were very quality business. Look like I went to a printer.
Because it's really about the quality of paper that you buy, as opposed to,
Yeah.
If you have a color printer, you can make that happen.
I bought a color printer. That was the one investment I made, I think, was the biggest investment I made, was a color printer.
I didn't do an email. I actually did a mailing. That's what it was called then. I did a mailing, and I sent out 100. But I did that one, and I tell you, I was blessed because word of mouth is the best advertising.
Yes, it
and
is.
I was able to go 12 years. I've worked with some of the largest companies in Milwaukee. I was able to go 12 years without ever having to advertise again.
Yeah.
I even stopped passing out business cards because I was overwhelmed already. I've done all the festivals, African World Festival. They hired me to be the assistant director for the festival one year. I did everything, and I only sent out that one mailing.
Yeah, if you start out getting the word out, it's like the ripple effect. Once you throw the pebble out there and it hits the water, it spreads out. Somebody tell somebody, tell somebody, tell somebody else. And people are still telling other people about me. And someone called me the other day from Atlanta. And I'm like, well, how, and they mentioned somebody else here in Chicago, and that somebody was referred by somebody else. So it was like a whole connect the dots kind of thing.
Word of mouth is the greatest thing, and one of the things that I like to say, especially to African American businesses, because there is a stigma for African American businesses. We're not on time, and the quality of the product or the customer service that you receive. And one of the things, from being in corporate America in management, especially in Milwaukee, I was in a majority type setting where I was the minority, all the time or whatever. But one of the things, especially in that food service industry, one of the things that was so important was timeliness, and presentation always, because I was a front of the house person. And one of the things that's so important to me in business is your reputation. Because that is what sells you. If they can trust you, they know that you're going to be on time, and that your presentation or your product is going to be quality. You can get that business, but your reputation, you got to stay on that, because that's all you got. Once you lose your reputation, that's kind of
your integrity goes before and after you.
Yes.
So that's something you always want to keep intact, and that's one of the strategies for building your business is having strategic relationships. You need strategic relationships with good people, because that helps you navigate through a lot of things. Sometimes it's just the favor you need is bigger than the money that you need.
That's right.
And if you have that that gets you in the door where money can't pay for that.
Exactly.
So that integrity has to always be top notch. You have to always be of the utmost integrity.
And those relationships that you build because of that integrity, like some of my vendors, very prominent vendors in Milwaukee, I can go in and get a discount or get a delivery or get something that nobody else is going to be able to walk in and do. Because I have that established relationship, and they know when I tell them, okay, I'm going to have that check for you on this day, I'm going to have that check for you on that day, and it's not going to be a penny short of what I told you it's going to be. That's what's going to happen. So I can get some people to put their money up front, whereas, you don't have to go in and pay this deposit because they don't know you. So your integrity also creates leverage for you.
Absolutely.
But this has been good. I know that people don't really always see the business side of me because, on Facebook, I'm always relationships.
Right. And I was like, girl, I'm going to go in there and talk about my stuff. I'm going to food Xavia today. I'm not giving her all of that. I'm going to talk about that.
In your relationship,
you know what? That's the end. Thank you for watching.
Okay, well.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
I guess we're not going to get no relationship stuff out of Miss Knox, but the good business stuff.
But you know, I do have a workshop called From Bedroom to Bourgeois, from boardroom, like boardroom that we're in, from boardroom to bourgeois, and that's for women entrepreneurs, women business owners, and how to switch hats, because that is important. You know, on a serious side, when we talk about life balance, I'm not talking about my personal relationship right here,
right.
but we do talk about that. How do you mix in, you know, that spouse, and how do you switch that hat from being the CEO of your company, and now you go back home and you fall into the background.
Right.
You know, you don't go home and you're trying to rule your husband like you rule in the business. It's a different dynamic. Yes, we do talk about how to switch the hats.
You know what? It's interesting that you brought that up. I mean, and of course I have to some way tie some relationship in here, but it's interesting that you said that, because when I first started my business, I had a problem maintaining a relationship. I wasn't in one because, you know, I was real focused on my business, and I was still in corporate America as well. So time didn't allow for that. But once I did leave corporate America and I started the business and I started to date again, I was so used to, I ran stuff in corporate America. Now I'm running my own business. I was just used to running stuff. So I treated my relationships like a business.
Like it was the business, right?
You know, it was just really hard. And then of course, you know, starting a business is when you don't have enough time. And I'm like, you know, I have to make this thing work. I got kids, blah blah blah. But I did find it kind of difficult, and I'm actually more of a submissive woman in a relationship, but I found it difficult to switch those hats. I'm just so used to, okay, I got this time for you, I need you to be there, we're going to blah, blah, blah. And you know, it's just like, this is what's happening. Get in.
Get in where you can fit in.
Get in where you can fit in.
And no man wants to feel like he's just getting in where he can fit in. He doesn't want to just, you know, be number 16 on the list.
Hey,
so,
I had the to-do list. Call him. Was on the to-do list.
Right, we gonna do it on 8 a.m. on Tuesday. If you're not there, you gonna miss it. Alright?
Girl, I don't know how many times I would be talking to whoever it was I was trying to date, and they'll be like, so when can we get together? I'll be looking through my book.
Right,
how about next Thursday?
How about in about 2 months?
It's Tuesday. What you doing next Thursday? I'm like, that's when I got time. So.
Yeah, but that's so important. That's so important, especially
is.
for especially women that are married. Now, I'm divorced, so I'm not, you know, just pulling information again out of the side of my neck. You know, so I'm divorced with 3 children, so I have walked that road where I've had to balance school and a spouse and a home and a job and a business and all of those things together.
Superwoman.
You didn't see the ass on the back.
I'm saying, right? I was thinking about Karen White's song, I'm not your superwoman.
Right, my cape is in the cleaners. My cape is in the cleaners, so you don't see it today. But, you know, I don't try to be superwoman. I do the things that I have to do because I'm the only one now.
Right.
So, you know, and I hear women all the time talk about, well, you know, men are intimidated by successful women, and that's not necessarily true all the time.
Right.
There are some really great men that want a woman with a really good head on her shoulders.
Yes, they do.
But they want her to also be a woman.
That's right.
In their lives, not the boss.
Right.
Necessarily.
You can't have 2 chiefs, and no man wants another man.
Yes.
You know, I say that all the time and get in trouble, that there are some women that think they are just as much man as the next man. And no man wants another man.
No.
I mean, well, some men do want, but you
know what I'm saying.
That's
not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. That's a different show.
Right.
That's a different show. Don't y'all call me asking about that either.
Those 2 roles and switch those hats and stuff. And I really like the title of that workshop, From Boardroom to Boudoir.
Yeah.
So, can the boardroom turn into the boudoir?
It can. But again, that's a whole nother show.
I might have to bring you back for Girl Talk.
But because, you know, I do, my other session is called Girl, Man, Your Business.
Yes.
Girl, man, your business. And it's not about becoming a man, but it is about if you think about it, with men, they play the games of football, basketball. You know, men are taught to win. Women are taught to play nice. And it's a different dynamic when women are in business. And we have this sixth thing called intuition that we have to really learn how to use. So, Girl, Man Your Business is about the 7 key power plays for female entrepreneurs.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So we just did that one actually last weekend, and I'll be doing it again around Chicago coming up real soon.
Oh,
so
cool.
Keep looking out for that.
Definitely.
BJSenterprises.biz. And if you would like to have that session or any of my sessions come to your event or your place of business or what have you, you can find me at BJSenterprises.biz, and we can go from there.
And if you didn't get the link for her website, it'll also be on the fan page, Xfox Talks on Facebook. As well, if you have any questions for her, you can post them right on the fan page as well, because she'll be checking the fan page. Or you can put it in the comments on YouTube. You're watching it now, so right down there where it says comments, say, "Hey, Victoria, blah, 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 blah."
Right.
So, and she'll be checking that as well. So, I've had a great interview with her. We got a little of her personality out and some great information as well. Make sure that you look forward to Ask the Attorney. We're going to have attorney Shara Danielle Harris answering your questions if you have real estate or legal issues with business development as well. And soon we are going to have Girl Talk and we're going to have Guy Talk. So if you would like to be on the panel for one of those discussions, definitely get on the fan page and let me know that you have an interest in being on that panel as well. So, I might be asking you to come back for Girl Talk too. Because what I want to do is get a group of 6 intelligent women. And we might throw somebody in there for drama.
Well, intelligent women can bring drama.
Girl, okay.
That doesn't mean we don't have drama. It just means we're smart.
I just want y'all to know it's not going to be basketball wise.
Oh, well, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I know there is God.
I know there's a God. So just make sure that you're on the fan page so that you can be kept up on the information regarding the show, being part of the live audiences, and all the other goodies. We're going to actually do a makeover soon, and it's going to be inside out. It's for you and about you.
It's all about me.
No celebrity gossip, even though we might talk about some people a little bit, but it's not about celebrity gossip.
No. Yeah. That's not going to help change your life.
Exactly.
One bit.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't give a lot of time to that.
I don't either.
So I'm all about relevance. How is this going to help me?
Exactly.
How is this going to move me forward? How is this going to help my community and the place that I live and the people I live around? How is this going to help us?
Exactly. And that's what this show is all about. Everything that we talk about and touch on is to help build the person. Relationships are part of people's lives.
Sure.
Heartbreak and healing, fitness, holistic health, business, and then some of the things we're going to do on Fridays. It'll be a little more fun, but it's definitely still relevant to how it's going to help you. Great. So I just want to thank you for coming on the show, girl.
Thank you.
I had a great
time. Me too.